All right, y'all. It is time to shine. It is time to shine. I'm your host, Julian Smartrimple. King Jewelz here. We are locked and loaded for another very special episode of the Run the Jewelz podcast show and vidcast series. You are in for a treat. We appreciate all of our smart jewels who are rocking with us today. We could not have made this show a success without you. But the RTJ Lifestyle Show, for those who may be joining us for the first time, was created to spread inspiration to young professionals and millennial entrepreneurs who want to learn wisdom on how to shine brighter in their careers or their businesses. And so if you are a millennial, we appreciate you rocking with us. Gen Zers, we definitely appreciate you rocking with us. But even if you're a baby boomer, we definitely still have love for all of our baby boomers out there that track with us. We are all created to shine. And so welcome to the Run the Jewelz podcast. But if you are interested in being a future guest on one of our upcoming season episodes, we're already locked and loaded for this season. But if you are a dynamic king or a queen, entrepreneur or a professional or even a young professional that has a phenomenal testimony or a business that you are trailblazing in your industry, click the link that we're putting in the comment section below to fill out our interest form, and one of our support team will get back to you if you have what it takes to be on our podcast episodes for the next season. And so you can listen to us on all of the podcast streaming platforms where you listen to your favorite podcasts or your music artists. Just search for the Run the Jewelz podcast, and you'll be able to listen to all of our episodes from season 1 all the way to season 5, you all. And so you can catch us also on the Wisdom app. Shout out to all of our Wisdom and Twitter Space listeners that are getting exclusive access to our episodes before they even premiere. And so, Wisdom listeners, if you have any questions at any time for our very special guest that I'm about to get ready to bring onto the stage, feel free to ask them. Come onto the stage. Don't be shy. This is a live Q&A show. We definitely want to hear from you. And so make sure that you all are getting any questions that you want answered from our very special guest. And so those are all of my housekeeping to-dos. Today's episode is titled How to Become a Black Homesteader and how to become Black Homesteaders, especially if you are married, if you are a couple. You definitely are going to be in for a treat to hear some dynamic wisdom and also step-by-step process and how to literally become a Black homesteader, you all. And so without further ado, I met this young king by way of Uncle Frank. Brother Frank is what many of us know him as here in Georgia. He operates an organization for men called Force of One. And most of the people who are in the community or wanting to not just save, but even propel and empower our men know about the Force of One organization. And literally, I know if Brother Frank validates anybody, then that means that they are about their business, they're about their community, and most importantly, they're about building up young kings and young men like myself and others. And so I met this young king recently this year when we were all breaking bread together. And literally this king told me that he and his wife, they have acres, not a acre, acres, you all, of land that they were literally able to develop, and they have run a business, also a homestead ranch on the acres. And so I told him I had to have him come on the show and drop the jewels to tell us about how he and his wife started their homestead ranch, and also how did they get into the process of even owning this amount of land and also this amount of real estate, because we are talking real estate and also land development today, along with how to become a homesteader. And so if you've been thinking about it, if you've been hearing about it on YouTube or amongst different podcasters, or even if you want to consider living off the grid eventually in the future, you're in the right place to be. I'm going to get ready to bring to the stage my very special guest. He goes by the name of Brother Ghazi. I know him as King Ghazi. And so I'm going to let you all be introduced to my very special guest, Brother Ghazi. Brother Ghazi, can you hear me, King?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and well, my brother.
We appreciate you coming onto the show for today's episode to drop some jewels with us, bro. Thank you again for taking time out of your schedule. But usually what we start off the episode with, Ghazi, we have our guests tell us a little bit about yourself, King. Tell us where you're originally from, your hometown, where you're currently streaming our episode today, and also why is this an important subject for you to discuss with our audience?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. First of all, let me say thank you for having me on. My wife, she would be on, but actually we're getting ready for a wedding this weekend. So she's down there doing a lot of decorating. And I was down there helping. I said, but somebody got to represent. So, we're getting ready for a wedding. But I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. My wife is from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And, it's been a heck of a journey for us. It's been only 2 years since we've been on the land here. We met in Arizona. We were in Phoenix, Arizona about 15 years. We moved down here to Georgia from Arizona 2 years ago. It was actually 2 years ago, February the 16th, when we closed on this property. And it's been just a remarkable journey for us. We didn't know nothing about homesteading. We knew nothing about growing food. We first got there, we got cows and sheep. And I didn't know nothing about cows or animals, none of that. And I'm gonna tell you what was funny when we got the cows. I told the guy, I said, okay, man, I watch TV. How I milk this thing. I said, because I want to milk a cow. And the man said, oh, no, these meat cows. I said, meat cows? I said, no, milking none of these things. So, that was one of my first lessons on the farm, that there was a difference between a dairy cow and the meat cow. Then I found out the difference between the meat chicken and the laying hen that lay eggs, So these were some of my early lessons that I got real quick. But we just jumped off into it, hands-on experience. We started growing food and things just went up from there, And it's very important to us because, last year we was able to grow 34 different fruits and vegetables and herbs from our own land with almost no experience in the past. Our grandparents and great-grandparents had experience, but I didn't come up around that at all. I went from the hood life to the good life. But, we was able to grow food, and we're excited now. We get eggs every day from our chickens. We go out here and plant our own food, have our own well water. You see behind me, I'm sitting, we have a 2-acre pond that's in the back of me. We got fish, bass, crappie, bluegill in the pond. So, we just jumped into a reality where we know how important it is for our people to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining, and it's just an important movement that we become a part of, and love all our people that's a part of this kind of movement.
Absolutely. Shout out to all of those who are farmers, Black farmers, or even homesteaders out there. You just heard from my very special guest, Mr. Brother Ghazi, who he and his wife, Cheyenne, are definitely homesteaders here in Georgia. For those that are in Georgia, where we all reside, you definitely need to go and pull up on them. I know we're going to be talking about how they literally acquired their homestead ranch, and also even the process for those who are interested in becoming homesteaders, definitely you are in the right place to be. And I know, King, you told me a little bit about your backstory too. Like, tell us, like, what is your industry that you come from? Like, what are some of your skill sets that you had before you and your wife acquired the land and also the property? And like, tell us about your story, man, in getting into this process of being a homesteader, you and your wife.
Okay, yes, sir. Well, I'm a speaker and an author. I'm a transformational coach, mindset coach. And I've been doing that speaking for over 25 years myself. My wife, she's a financial coach. She's real big in credit and financial literacy, investing. And, my background is straight from the streets, hers, military, more academia, but together, we say we're the yin and yang, I was on the other side of the train track. She was on one side, but, we came together and,
say that last part, King. You were cutting out a little bit. Your audio went out a little bit. Say that last part one more time.
Okay. I was saying that, she and I came from different sides of the train, but together, we made just a dynamic team, together. But the story of how we got it is Cheyenne and I have been married 4 years. And when we first got married, she got pregnant early on in the marriage. And it was a highly anticipated pregnancy because she was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome at a young age. And they told her that she wasn't going to have any children. And she had got pregnant once and have a 14-year-old. When she got pregnant with that child, they told the doctor said it was a fluke. It was 1 in a billion chances. It'd never happen again. And I joked with it because I had 9 children. And I said, well, God knew who to put you with because if I can do nothing else, I can make some babies. So when she and I got married, sure enough, early on in the first few months, she got pregnant. And it was highly anticipated for her because when she was 16, she had a dream that she had a little girl. And she saw herself playing with that little girl in a yellow dress on the bed. And this was she was 16 years old. Well, when she found out through the ultrasound that it was a little girl, she was ecstatic. And in her mind, this was the fulfillment of God's promise. And she was on social media showing her the stomach off. And every day she's showing me her stomach. I'm like, baby, it don't look no bigger today than it did yesterday. It looked just the same to me, right? And but she was so happy and so excited and really into that process. But the baby wound up dying. It was stillborn in 24 weeks. The baby had died. And Cheyenne actually gave birth to this lifeless child. And she laid in the bed with this child for about 4 or 5 hours. She went to sleep with this baby, dressed this baby, talked to this baby. And the doctors and I just gave her space, because we knew that she needed that space for healing. Well, right after this event right here, rather than stay in that place of mourning and grief, we decided to start a nonprofit organization in honor of the little girl. Her name would have been Kayaneh. And we had rented a place in Phoenix, Arizona. It looked like the Taj Mahal, a very beautiful building. And we honored 24 other sisters who lost children through miscarriage and stillbirths. And we put crowns on these. We put crowns on these women's heads. We put all these baby names and plaques. We told the servants to serve them like they queens. They shouldn't want for nothing. And right after we honored these women, we had speakers come in. We had a dinner for them. We catered a dinner for them because we wanted to honor other women who had gone through similar pain. And right after we honored these women, about a month later, Cheyenne gets pregnant again with Lil Ghazi. And he was born December the 10th. He'd be 3 years old on December the 10th. And this from a woman that the doctor said that she wasn't going to have no children. And she had got pregnant twice in practically 1 year. And then, Lil Ghazi was born. And that experience shifted us. It made us look at life a little bit different. And initially, we was going to buy an RV and travel the country for a year. But we listened to a clip from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about land and the value of land. And so I looked at it, I said, no, we ain't gonna get no RV, let's get some land. And I flew down here because we wanted to come back south. I flew down to Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, the areas that we were looking for land, and Carolina. And I wound up finding this property right here. One of the other farmers that I know, Brother Patrick, who also owned 30 acres here in Georgia, he actually found this land for me. and we named it Kayaneh Sunset Ranch. We put our daughter's name on it, and the idea behind it was that Kayaneh died, but something was still born inside of us, a sense of purpose, a mission, and a vision. So even though she was still born, something was still born in us. And since we've been here over the last 2 years, we've had several thousand visitors. We've had conferences, workshops, trainings here, and so we just got into a space where we wanted to use the land to really educate our community and inspire our community to really get involved with this self-sufficient lifestyle and this self-sufficient movement. And we've collaborated and met people from across the country, and it's been just a remarkable journey. And we're looking forward to what the future brings.
That's a powerful testimony, King. And when you told it to me, that was something that definitely stood out for my first time in meeting you, is seeing literally how many early struggles that even you were telling me that you had as a young king growing up, and even how you still continue to persevere and also still continue to build the life that you wanted for not just yourself, but even for your family. And so I know we definitely got to talk about some of the family goals that you all set when you acquired the land and also acquired the property. But we're going to give you a quick commercial break, King, just to catch your breath for a second. We just want to honor our VIP sponsor for today. Each and every episode, you all, we do highlight a VIP affiliate or a VIP sponsor that allows our episodes to take place. And so let's take a look and see who our VIP sponsor is for today's episode, you all. Let's take a look. So shout out to our VIP sponsor for today. Comes from none other, or our affiliate partner today comes from none other than Wisdom. If you are someone that is interested in having an online business as a coach, a mentor, or any type of speaker that you want to literally pull together your online community and literally have a private social group that you can speak to each and every day, or even each and every week, you definitely want to check out Wisdom. We use Wisdom for our audience to listen to our podcast and receive exclusive access for our Smart Jewel listeners to get exclusive access before the episode premieres with the Wisdom app. And so definitely check out Wisdom today. And also shout out to our platform that we stream from. StreamYard is the platform that we also stream on, which is what we use for our podcast episodes to go live. And so you can also receive an exclusive $10 off discounted price by just clicking on the link that we have pinned in the comment section to become a part of the StreamYard community and stream to multiple platforms all at the same time, you all. So shout out to our VIP affiliate partner, Wisdom, and also shout out to StreamYard. But back to you, Brother Ghazi. We definitely wanted to highlight our VIP sponsor for today before we kept it rolling, King. Like, tell us about like the process that you and your wife, I know it was literally ordained and you had visions and also a lot of confirmations from Yah and from God in order to purchase the land. But what was, like, for those who may not know the process, how can you purchase acres of land first and foremost, and then also how did you all acquire land that actually has a ranch that's already on it too?
Well, actually, acquiring land, we found out was just as easy as getting a house, and in some instances, it's easier than getting a piece of property, because and it's a lot of land for sale. It's a lot of land for sale. Like I said, my wife is into financial literacy real tough. So of course, she worked on our credit. Where she had perfect credit. When she and I got married, I didn't have, something. When I say I come from the hood life, I'm not talking about the hood life for real. Like my credit was like 426 or something. When she and I got married, she had an 850, and I remember she ran my credit score when we were courting, and her mother ran my background check. And I had been locked up before, so it was like my credit score was 426. I had like 6 felonies. It wasn't looking good for her brother. Her mama say, I don't know if this is the right one right here, She's like, I don't know if this is the right one. Boy got bad credit and he been in the penitentiary, he one of them old hood cats. And but thank to the God, wife like, nah, this guy's valuable. I see something in this man. And but she got our credit together, got my credit together. And I listened and followed just some basic things that I never knew about credit. I started budgeting, becoming more intelligent with how I spend my money. I never had a problem with getting money, but like most of us, we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to leverage it, and that was kind of the situation I was in. But we got our credit together, and we started searching, and with good credit scores, and we had sold our house, so the home we in, so we had like a little down payment, and it was relatively easy with the credit score that it wasn't no lender that would reject us because we both had pretty good credit. If we wanted to get a conventional loan, it was pretty easy on that point. But this land is 25 acres and it was divided into two, like 12 and a half acres apiece. So at first it was kind of difficult because they didn't want one loan because it was two separate properties. So we had to go through the process of making it one, one address, one property, and things like that. And it wasn't too hard to do none of that though. It was just a matter of going to, file paperwork and things like that. But actually, land is really easy to get, and it's for sale all over the country. And as far as the Black community, what's going on is that a lot of our people, as we know, we left the South a long time ago during the Great Migration, when there was a lot of racism and Jim Crow and segregation in the South. A lot of our ancestors, our great grandparents and grandparents, they left Mississippi and Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, and they started moving up north. My family originally or my grandmother then was from Mississippi, and they left Mississippi and moved to St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee, moved to them areas down there. And now we see a migration back to the South. It's a lot of black people, especially young blacks, millennials. They're moving back to the South to get the land because now a lot of whites don't want the land no more. They want to live in the loft down in the city. And so land is for sale all over. When I was looking for a place, I mean, I was all throughout Georgia, and I found some beautiful properties in 8, 9, 10 different counties and or cities here surrounding Atlanta. And we didn't want to move too far out. We wanted to be closer to Atlanta. We only 45 minutes from the airport, 35 minutes from downtown Atlanta. So we're not too far out. We close enough to the city, but far enough out where we ain't in a riffraff, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, King. Yeah, y'all are right in the right place to be too, because I'm in still like the Cobb area that's not too far from Vinings where the stadium is, and so like tell us like how is it out there, especially where you are there a lot of other owners of ranches or farms out there that you can collaborate with, or even receive, you and your wife receive advice from, or even maybe even trade different produce or different products at? Like, what's the lifestyle of a homesteader for those that may have never been even on a farmland, especially in the South?
Yeah, well, in this immediate area right here, when we first moved here, we was the only blacks in this particular area. But when we come, we have so many events that people start putting their stuff up for sale. Like, it's too many of them coming out there now. They start selling their stuff. So it's a brother actually across from me. He bought 17 there because he came from New York. Then it's another youngster just bought 5 acres down the road here. So in this immediate area now, it's like brothers and sisters right here where we at now. And we kind of look out for each other. We see something strange. The brother could call me, "Hey, guys, are you good over there?" I do the same thing. And of course, the little sister who, she's a single sister, so both of us look out for her. Both our families kind of look out for her and make sure everything good. And we pretty much do the farming. The other ones don't do farming. They have small gardens, but and we have gardens too. We're not full-fledged farmers. We do more agribusiness and agritourism here. We do a lot of tours. We have an event venue where a lot of people get married here. So that's kind of our bread and butter. But we have an extensive garden, and we have different trees that I was so ignorant, because I don't know what this stuff is. It's a tree here. We got a persimmon tree, and I didn't know what them things were. I never seen a persimmon before. Never heard of it or nothing. I thought it was squirrel food because the squirrels were eating it all up, But we had some campers here one day, and a lady said, "Oh, you got a persimmon tree?" I said, "What's a persimmon tree?" She said, "Oh, right there." She said, "My grandmother make persimmon pie and persimmon preserves." And I looked that stuff up, and I found out how healthy it was, and it was good for your immune system and vitamin C. And then we found out we had the elderberries and muscadine grapes and all kind of stuff growing wild out here. So one of the farmers told me about this app. Picture this, where I can take a picture of any vegetation or tree, and it can tell me within seconds, what it is, the medicinal value of it, the history of it. And we found out we got wild onions growing. I mean, just wild stuff in the wild. I was riding over that stuff on my lawnmower because it looked like grass to me. All that like grass. And I'm finding out it's all these different kind of grass, orchard grass, fescue grass. I thought grass was grass. You from the city, you don't know it's all these different names, all these different styles or strains of grass, So I'm just cutting down stuff. I cut down an apple tree by mistake, just with my axe, just trying to see if I can cut down the tree. I'm cutting down trees, and so it's a lot of lessons that we had to learn, on the job training that we had to learn. And now, we going into our 3rd year, and it's been remarkable. Now we kind of got a hold on it. Now, when I first came, we didn't know how to grow food. I just went dug holes in the ground and threw a lot of seeds in the hole, like Jack and the Beanstalk. I threw 100 seeds in that hole. I didn't know I was supposed to separate them so far apart, and not too many seeds. I just threw seeds in there. And I remember that first year, man, we grew so much zucchini and squash and tomatoes. It grew so fast that my wife went on Facebook and said, "Who want free farm fresh vegetables?" Because we couldn't eat all that, So we had carloads of people pulling up to the farm. We just giving them bags of vegetables that we had grown because we didn't know. Now we know how to separate them. And then, once we planted them and we ate them, we're like, okay, what's next? Then we had to learn that you got to plant every week so you can have a harvest every week. We planted one time and we sat back like, voila, like, everything good now. Once the lettuce came up, tomatoes came up, and the blackberries and blueberries and all that, and we ate it, we like, okay, now what? Where the rest of our food at? Because we didn't know you had to keep planting. You got to keep planting so you can have a harvest. We found out it's different things you plant. It's winter vegetables and summer vegetables and spring vegetables, fall. We had to learn all that. Like, what's the best time to plant certain vegetables? Some of it grow better when it's colder and cooler. Some of it grow better, when it's hot and humid. And these things we just learn literally through trial and error and talking to other farmers. So we don't have a lot of farmers in this area. We got a lot of landowners, but they're doing other things. But we have collaborated with a lot of Black farmers and homesteaders and ranchers across the country that we trade notes with. We collaborate with. We on conference calls all the time, learning, and we kind of use our place as a hub to bring them together. They come from across the country here, and for conferences and workshops and trainings and things like that. So we have collaborated. And we learn a lot from the different farmers and homesteaders that we've connected with.
Yeah, I know you were telling me that it's a lot of people that are open to again give information, which is a great thing out there, that everyone's not holding on to their hacks or their different tips in making sure that they're able to have harvest year round, and like you mentioned, even knowing what certain produce or herbs are that you may even have on your land, that someone who was not raised on a farm or that was raised in the suburbs or the city, like a lot of us that are listening, may not know any of the things that are jewels literally growing on our farmland. And so, wisdom listeners, if you have any questions for Brother Ghazi, feel free to come onto the stage and ask any questions you have, because we will be going into Q&A for the remainder of the segment. But feel free to come onto the stage if you have any questions or comments for Brother Ghazi. But King, talk to us about like even the struggles, the early struggles. Were there any early struggles? I know you had mentioned that you all weren't used to like how to take care of animals, and also some of the produce maybe that you were finding out that was already growing on your land. But were there any early struggles that you would want to tell homesteaders to look out for before purchasing their property, or even literally having to grow any type of products or produce on their lands? What are some early struggles that you all can mention that you all overcame?
Oh yeah, well definitely like zoning. Zoning is real big. It's a lot of people they buying land, but they got to make sure that the land is zoned agriculture if they want to grow food and have chickens and animals or cattle or something like that. Because I met a lot of people that are, fortunate for us, this was zoned residential / agriculture. So we went to the zoning commission to have it zoned completely agriculture, because and you get certain benefits when it's completely agriculture. Now it's something, it was a struggle. So we had a problem with the zoning commission. We had to get a lawyer, and they were trying to shut certain things down, and y'all can't do this, y'all can, because you think, this is my land, I can do what I want to do. I mean, you can, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come for you, and they be like, "Hold on, what y'all doing right there? Y'all got a license for this? You got a permit for this? You zone for that?" And so, we had to learn the hard way through going to war, with the zoning commission on what we could and couldn't do, and what was our leverage, what we can leverage and things like that. And as far as like animals, I remember when we got the cows. We had these big old cow bulls with these big horns, and the fencing is important if you get cattle. So we had we had some little rinky dink fence where we had the animals at, and man, the cow got some bulls got loose. They running down the street, man. I don't know what I'm calling like they dog. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, what I'm gonna do with this big old thing, And I had a nephew of it from St. Louis at the time, so you know, I went down one way and put my SUV and blocked the car. He went his car in the back, and we honking and trying to get this thing and run back into the thing. And I realized all I needed to do was get a bucket of food. He had that food, and he can't run like a little like a little puppy, and just walk right on back to the thing. But that was scary for me because this thing was big. It was huge, probably weighing about 1,600 pounds, if not more than that. I'm thinking like if somebody rolled down the street, this cow running to him, it's gonna hurt him or it's gonna kill the cow, And that was kind of frightening. We had to learn the hard way about foxes, killing your chickens, chicken hawks, and coyotes. We learned the hard way. We had like 40 something chickens, and I mean, I literally seen the fox pick one of my chickens up and take him through the fence. And I'm looking like, what the hell thing got my chicken? I mean, so you gotta make sure you got things to protect yourself against certain animals because it be animals out here. We don't have it ain't no lions, tigers, and bears, nothing like that. But you see right over there, it's some geese. You know, so we have like a lot of geese that come on the property. They don't bother nothing, but they poop everywhere, make a lot of noise. Go to the pond. But other than that, internet. You want to make sure you're in a place with internet. We tried all the satellite internets, all that stuff was whack. So we actually using like Verizon hotspots because the internet service. We don't have the high speed Wi-Fi out in this particular area. We go a half a mile around the corner, they have it, but in this particular area right here where the landowners is, they don't have it. So if you really relying on internet, you want to make sure you got the right internet. These Verizon hotspot boxes been working better than the satellite internet for us. So internet, you want to deal with trash. We thought you come from the city, you pay your taxes, you think the trash man gonna come. No, you out here, you gotta get a private, trash, and you got to pay something separate. It was a separate bill. We didn't know. We like, when the trash man coming, we got all this trash, and they're like, oh, did you order some? We like, order some? No, we ain't order none. In the hood, you just get the trash can, put it on the curb, and they come every week. So we had to learn that, to deal with trash. So at first, I was loading up the pickup truck, going to the dump, paying to, dump the trash myself because I didn't know. But then, we got that straightened, so we don't have no problem now. They come every week, like clockwork. But those some of the struggles that we've had. Other than that, we haven't had any really major trouble or struggles outside of maintenance. A pipe bust when it's cold, things like that. We have had like death of the animals. We had some wild Rottweilers got on the property once, and they attacked one of my donkeys and killed it. So that was like and I had to pop one of them. I had to pop one of them dogs. That was a whole nother picture right there. But and it's something I'm talking about that today, because the donkey that was killed was the male, and I had a female donkey, and she was pregnant, and she literally gave birth to the baby today. I'm gonna walk over in a minute so you can see the donkey and the baby, but she literally gave birth to the donkey today. So we got a new addition to the farm today, and we have I sold my cows and my sheep, but I kept my horses. We got a couple horses out here. Kept my chickens. I love my eggs. Kept my ducks, and of course all my little farm cats and my dogs, and my donkeys. I kept them, and we thinking about maybe getting a milking cow. Instead of the meat cow, we thinking about getting a milking cow, which is the Holstein or the Jersey cows, so we can get some raw milk and butter and cheese and things like that. That's probably one of the only other animals that I would want. But when I first came, I wanted alpacas, I wanted lions, tigers, and bears, giraffes. I wanted alligators. I wanted everything. When I first came out here, my wife like, we ain't getting all that. But I wanted everything. But yes, sir.
Yeah, you want that wild kingdom out there, King. Ghazi was going to have the whole wild kingdom out there on the homestead. I love it, man. I love it, King. Absolutely. For those who are listening, we're here with Brother Ghazi, who he and his wife, Shaheen, have literally acres of ranch land and also property that is in Douglasville. Y'all are in Douglasville, right, Ghazi?
Yeah, we're in Douglas County, but we're in Villa Rica, Georgia, but it's Douglas County.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, Villa Rica, y'all. So if you're in the west side of Georgia out here, you definitely need to go and check out Brother Ghazi and also the Sunset Ranch. And what I was going to even have you explain to our audience, King. I know we talked about this when I first met you. Like people, oh, there we go. Y'all look at the new donkey.
So here's the donkey right here. But did you see the baby back there in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all getting firsthand look at the wildlife on the ranch, y'all. The new donkeys.
So he was literally just born today. And my son come out and say, I think Jill had that baby because it's some over there walking by. We come over here and the baby is running out through the field.
Hey, that's your blessing right there, because the Rottweilers tried to take out the male, and then, like you said, the female was already prego, so you already got blessed with another young donkey right now. But even what I was gonna tell you, King, is to like let people know, because folks just think like in the movies that people are just taking care of just farm animals or just potentially growing produce on their land or vegetation, of course. But a lot of people don't think about like how to actually make money multiple ways in running a business through a farm. And so, like, I know you were telling us about like different ways that people can make actual different streams of income by owning a ranch or a farm. And so tell a little bit about like your your special event space and even the conferences that y'all do. Let people know what are some of the different ways that you could actually earn multiple streams of income owning a ranch.
Yeah, so, and that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up, because actually our specialty is, you know, people call me now, you see, well, I got my Sunset Ranch hat on now, but I had my hat on earlier called the Landpreneur. And because we've been blessed to create over 25 streams of income from the land. So we don't consider ourselves farmers per se, but we show our people, if you got land, we can show you how to make money on that land. And that's what we specialize in. So a lot of people come from across the country. They want to know how y'all making all this money on y'all land. And we just approach it creatively, approach it like entrepreneurs. Like I'm going to show you this cabin we had where it was just a storage. But, you know, seeing I transformed it into a Airbnb. So look at this. I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna take you on a little tour here. If y'all,
I love it.
So this is, you know, we transformed this into like a little Airbnb. You know, see the bed and, you know, nice area. They got another little space right here with another bed in it. You know, so people come from all over to rent this space, and we had this just as a cabin. We didn't know nothing about no Airbnb. So when you got properties, you can actually have cabins, build cabins or tiny houses on your land where you can have multiple streams of income, real estate on your own property. You ain't got to have 10 different houses. You can have 10 cabins on your own land, and you getting money straight from your own land. So that's something that we learn. People rent it out all the time. You know, people come and rent it out all the time. We've had weddings. We've had the Black Rodeo here. We've had campers come out. We were listed in the top 25 Black-owned campsites in the country in our first year, because we use all the land. And, you know, I'm gonna show you, just give you a little tour of it. Well, you know, you look around, and, you know, we've used the land to for campers, and, you know, we've had schools come out, field trips. You know, we've done anything that we think of. We like, let's do it. You know, let's try that right there. Let's try that there. And again, you know, that's the value of being labor agriculture. Now, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to have 25 acres to be a farm. Even the tax benefits, when you got a land, when you're a landowner, the tax benefits are phenomenal. They're amazing. That's something that they don't tell our community. Other communities have been benefiting from this knowledge for decades or centuries. Us, we've been on the other end, because we in the concrete jungles. We think we got apartments and houses in the suburbs, so we ain't getting these tax benefits. Tax benefits like off the chain when you got a farm. And you don't have to have a lot of acres to be considered a farm. You can have an acre. You can have a couple of chickens, a couple of sheep. It's very, the criterion for being labeled a farm is very small. People think you got to have all of this, you know, but you don't. You don't have to have all this. You can have a small acre, get you a couple of chickens, get you a little sheep, and you're a farm. You know, you can apply for your farm, you know, your farm license, you know, your farm number and things like that. Here's our event space right here. So this right here is a horse arena. You know, it's a regulation size horse arena. So we've had like black cowboys come here and do like a rodeo here. We got a parking lot up there. And this is our event venue. And actually, I'm walking there. I think my wife party's in there, finished decorating for this wedding we got coming up. But I'm gonna give y'all a little glimpse of this wedding venue. And this kind of the bread and butter. And again, we didn't know none of this at first, but we just jumped into it. I'm gonna turn these lights on and just show y'all some of the things that we got going on here. Let me cut these lights on right quick, bro.
Oh no, show us all the jewels, King.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you. So look at this.
Wow. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
Yep. And so we literally getting ready for a wedding tomorrow. And that's the wife right there, like doing her thing.
Hey, how are you?
So she did. And so you know, we just, you know, and she the creative one. You know, she come up with all these designs, and you know, she tried to make, you know, the special day for women magical. You know, if they can think of it, she'll make it happen. You know, and so we use all like every building that we have in our mind it's like we want to make money off of it and learn how to monetize it. You know, after every building we got, and we got some other structures. Like if you see that structure back there, that's gonna be my next tiny house project back there. You know, and it already got a concrete slab on it, got windows and doors already, and it's just a matter of time. That's gonna be one over there. If you see that one through the trees, make that into a tiny house. So the idea, as we learn, we like, man, we can make tiny houses. You know, we can make cabins out of this where people can come and stay in. You know, not just that one, but our ideal is to have 7, 8, 9 of them. You know, where people can come and stay. But so I actually put together a course too called the Landpreneur. That a course that I said on Thinkific, because so many people was questioning us on how we was making money. I just put it all in the course for a 4.5-hour course that people been buying from across the country. People loving it because I bring it raw, straight to the point. All the ups and downs, the pain, and everything that you know we had to go through, and so it's been good. I'm gonna walk you over here and show you some of my horses. Let's go, girl. Can you see them horses?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I'm a brother who never rode a horse before. I used to run from the police horses when I was young, but never rode no horse till I bought one. I actually never went fishing till I bought this land and bought a pond. I never went fishing before in my life. Never been around animals like this or none of that, you know. So we just literally totally jumped into it. And I'm saying that to say to our people, to the listening audience, don't think you got to have no history in this. You got to know about all this. Just jump into it. And I'm gonna tell you something that an old farmer told me, an old black farmer. He said this to me when we first got the land. I got on a conference call with other farmers, and this older brother, I told him, I said, man, I'm new to all this. I don't really know what I'm doing. And he said, young brother, let me tell you something. He said, you the original man, brother. He said, it's in your nature, black man. He said, your ancestors been living off the land for trillions of years. He said, the more you out there on that land, it's going to activate something in you on a cellular level that you ain't going to know where it come from. It's already in your DNA. It's already in your genes. He said, the more you work the land, stuff going to come back like memory. You're going to start realizing, I say, man, and I'll be damned. I'm telling you, God is my witness. That's just how I be having. I'll be out there doing stuff, and like my mind be downloaded. The ideas coming to my mind, downloaded, you know. So I never forgot that lesson right there. So for our people think you got to know everything, it's already in your nature. It's already in your DNA. This is what our people did. They brought us over here to work the land. That's why they had us in slavery. So it's in us. We did it in Africa. We did it way like trillions of years ago. You know, we've been doing this. So when he told me that, it just made sense to me. And now the more I'm out here, it makes more and more sense. People think people say, you natural. No, it ain't natural. I come from another side of the world, other side of the train tracks, you know. But all has been good. And out here we have a little small pavilion out here. You see, we got a little fire pit right there where people come and lounge. And we had a fire pit. We got a pavilion right here where you know, we have small events. We got electricity out here on the pavilion. Where, you know, people come out here and they chill. You know, got a fireplace there. So, you know, we getting ready for an event here tomorrow, a little small event here tomorrow. But then here's the pond. I walk out on my dock and come and go fishing. You know, got my ducks over there, a couple of my ducks over there in the ground chilling. But I come out here and just go fishing, and you know, we got a couple of boats out here that, you know, when children come, we got paddle boats, and I bought a zip line. I just don't know what trees I'm gonna put it on. So anything that we think of where people can have fun, and you know, we want to build a playground out here for children. So when little children come, you know, they have a little playground to play in. Anything that we can think of that makes it a place of magic for our people, for our community, and something where we can appreciate and really love the land. That's our ideal, and that's something that we want to do.
Man, that's powerful right there, King. And for those who are listening on Wisdom or catching us on the audio, Ghazi is literally giving us a tour of his acres, you all. He's taking us to all of the locations on his site with he and his wife. They both own acres of land, and also their Sunset Ranch in Villa Rica, Georgia. And so you definitely want to watch this episode when it premieres, you all. Before we let you go, Ghazi, we're going to have you answer just real quick. Like, what is the vision? Like, what do you see the vision for your ranch, and then even where do you see the vision for like homesteaders or even people who are wanting to live off grid? Like, where do you see the future for those that want to own a ranch, or even homesteaders or folks who are living off grid?
I think like now I know for a fact a lot more of our people are getting land now, because I met tons and tons and tons of people that are into getting land now, and many of them want to go back to the basics. To grow our own food, it's more healthier. It's not genetically modified. You know, we got well water out here, so the water is pure, coming straight from the earth. Fresh air. You know, you breathing fresh air. So I think as people move more towards health consciousness, people gonna want to get more into land and what the land can produce, and understand the value of why God placed Adam and Eve in a garden in that area right there, because that area or that atmosphere was conducive to the development of man, the highest level of development of the human being, to be around life, around fruits and vegetables, around things that produce life. Now, what we want to do here, we really taking it in the direction of holistic health. You know, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. It was a sister here that we met. She reached out to us. Her son was dying of cancer. He was 9 years old. He had terminal cancer. He was in hospice, and his last wish was to be around farm animals. And she called some farms, in like local farms. Nobody answered. She called here. My wife answered the phone and talked to her. She said, "Yeah, bring him. You know, bring him on by." They got him up out of hospice, brought him here to the farm, and he pushed him in a wheelchair. And he was playing with the donkeys and the sheep and the cows and the horses, and he laughed. And you know, his brother pushed him in the wheelchair. This boy laughed and laughed and laughed, and we just enjoyed seeing him have fun. Well, he wound up dying a week later. He wound up dying from the cancer, and his name was Apollo. So we're gonna put a garden down there by the pond called Apollo's Garden, where we're gonna have all kind of like herbs and stuff down there, and we're gonna honor our young brother. So that's the direction we're moving in. You know, health and wellness, holistic, because we wanted to be a place of healing for our community and show our community that you know we can heal if we go back to the land, go back to the basics. We don't need all the medicines and the food. Like, our health is literally in the land. It's in the plants, it's in the herbs, it's in the vegetables. And the more we learn, we share that with our community. I think it'll be a good thing. I'm just walking up front to show you the parking lot, another barn. We're gonna make that barn right there into a barndominium. And then I'm gonna end with this sign up here with that, you know, have baby girl name on it. Up there.
Wow, I love it, man.
Kayaneh Sunset Ranch.
Kayaneh Sunset Ranch, you all. For those who are going to be watching the future episode premiere, you're literally seeing the sign for Kayaneh's Sunset Ranch, you all, where we're taking a tour literally right now by Brother Ghazi, who he and his wife own acres of land out in Villa Rica, Georgia. Before we let you go, Ghazi, too, like, tell people, how can they stay in touch with you, King? How can people, they want to follow up and even build with y'all or support your mission or your business? What are some ways they can touch base with you?
Well, they can email us at hello@sunsetranch.farm, FARM. And you know, I do want to mention that this May 19th, May 20th and 21st, we have a Black Homesteaders conference where we got, I think, 16 instructors coming from across the country, and they're gonna teach everything about growing food, all kind of growing modality. If you got 1 acre, if you got a backyard or a windowsill, they're gonna show you how to grow food, basic ways of growing food. And the last conference we had in October, we had over 350 Black people came from across the country and stayed there for 3 days, and we had a good old time. So if you Google Black Homesteaders Conference, it'll come up, and you know, all the information will come up. Black Homesteaders Conference that's coming up in May. But if you and then you can follow us, me on social media, Ghazi Speaks, Ghazi Speaks on Facebook and IG, and my wife is Kayaneh Muhammad on Facebook. If you want to get some financial literacy, because she's very passionate about that, bringing some education to our community when it comes to finances and credit and investing and things like that.
Absolutely. So y'all definitely go and support. I put the banners on the screen so you all can stay in touch with Ghazi and his wife Shaheen. And I know, King, I definitely got to come over there and walk the land with y'all too, man, because I know y'all are doing some big things out there in Villa Rica. What's a final jewel, King, that you want to leave with the audience on why they need to get into homesteading before we let you go real quick? What's a final jewel of wisdom you want to drop?
Man, I would say that, this is our life. We was brought here over 400 years ago and kidnapped and robbed from our own country, raped of our names, our culture, our God, our religion, our four ways. And but now it's in our nature. If we go back to the land, we just don't have to talk about the greatness of our Black ancestors in Egypt and how they built pyramids and the ancient wonders of the world. If we go back to the land and get in alignment with who we are by nature, the divine beings that we are by nature, then we can replicate, if not surpass, the greatness of our ancestors, because it's still in our DNA. That greatness is still in our DNA. No matter what we're doing, who we are, it's literally in our DNA. And all we got to do is be in an atmosphere to activate that level of greatness that's on the inside of us already naturally.
Man, I love it, King. I love it. Y'all definitely go and support King Ghazi and also his wife Shaheen. We're going to definitely say a quick prayer over you, King. If you've been blessed by today's episode, you all feel free to sow a seed with us. There's 3 ways to sow. You could either Cash App a donation, seed offering at SMART, SMART, JEWELZ, or feel free to literally purchase some of our new merch that we just dropped and just launched for this season's episode because you're sowing into good soil here. But Ghazi, I'm going to say a quick prayer over you, King, and then let you enjoy the rest of your day before we let you go, if that's all right.
Okay.
All right. Father Yah, I just want to thank you for Ghazi. I thank you for his mission and his purpose that you've given he and his wife, Shaheen. And I thank you for what you are doing on their Sunset Ranch right now, and even bringing just a flood of different clients, different people that they'll partner with and that they'll be able to build and see the fruit of all of their labor and even all of their giving that they've sown into others' lives. May they receive 100-fold plus for their investment in others' lives. I thank you for the gift of real estate and land that you've given us, and also the opportunity that you've given them to show others how to be homesteaders. And I thank you for our time that you've allowed us to share today. I love you, Abba. I praise you and give you all the glory, honor, and praise. And it's in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, the Christ, I pray. Amen. We appreciate you, King, and coming on for today, man. We definitely going to be in touch with you. We definitely going to be in touch with you, man, and you enjoy the rest of your day out there. I know y'all are finishing up, set up for the wedding, and we'll definitely be in touch so I could come and tour it myself, King. We appreciate you, bro.
Okay, yes, sir. All right, bro. Have a blessed
day. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Peace. All right, y'all. I'm going to do a quick Jewelz for thought. You literally saw King Ghazi walking the land with us, you all. He was not playing when he said that they own acres. My brother was literally walking the land to show us how the land is separated and what they have on the land that they can make money and also help others in their community. And so the $1 million question is, what are you owning and what are you building? We have essentials for those who are content creators, podcasters, and entrepreneurs with our smart media essential services. And so go and check us out at www.smartjewelsenterprises.org to see how we can also help you take your show, your podcast, or even your business to the next level. Thank you all for tuning in today for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed all of the different seeds that Ghazi was dropping. Feel free to purchase some of our new merch with the link that we have in the comments at the Create, Shine, and Pray collection. And definitely catch us next episode for our podcast, you all. We definitely are going to be rocking and rolling throughout the rest of this season. And until the next time we see you again, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay hydrated.